backtracking a little bit, this is a show that you can do sort of what we've been calling 39-step style. So throwing a jacket on over somebody's base costume, changing a hat, some simple changes, and sort of requesting the audience to sort of suspend all of their disbelief. The concept that Brendan, the director, wanted starting off the bat was he did not want to do sort of a tongue-in-cheek show that way. He wanted to flesh out these characters and give the audience characters to invest in from the get-go. So that meant that these had to be fully fleshed out costumes. So top to tail, everything is actually character specific and nobody shares anything throughout the show. So there's like, I don't know, somewhere between 50 and 60 costumes in the show, and there's 5 actors. So you can imagine there's a lot of fast changes, and some of them happen on stage and some of them happen off. And so the trick was, how do you get somebody from a full, one character into their next character, and you really have 6 or 7 seconds to do it, and sometimes it happens on stage. Changing clothes is in and of itself transformative, right? When you give that moment an impetus and a spotlight, it becomes a magical moment in and of itself. In order to facilitate a lot of the changes, some stacking and layering happens. The trick is not making it appear that way. So there's a lot of extra tailoring, there's a lot of extra finessing that needs to happen to make sure that proportions still look right, despite the fact that somebody might be wearing 3-4 sets of clothes at any given time. So for instance, our Castilian desk clerk is actually on pretty much the entire show. In order to actually make his changes fast, I spent a day here. I came out to Cleveland for a day to just meet with a couple folks in the shop, Claire, Sandra, and Jeffrey, and we marked through the entire show and had to track moment to moment where each change had to happen, who was coming up next, who was coming up before, and then looking forward and seeing what we had to anticipate. And we tracked through that way, and we sort of had to map out everybody's track and figure out who had to wear what for how long and what the duration was, and at what point did we swap things out. So it's something where, one change in decision or one change in clothes affects a whole slew of other things. So you've got to sort of, get your thinking cap on at the top of the day and make sure that you can track through all of those things. Because if Brendan says, I'd like to see something different here, you have to work backwards and make sure that it's actually going to be feasible